With me is Nick Neuman, Product Development at Water Technology Inc. Now, WTI are sponsors of this evening's pre-dinner cocktail hour. Thank you, Nick, for joining me. How's your evening going so far?
So far, so good. It's our pleasure to be here, number one, for the event, to be a sponsor, and we've taken part in the Menalac event now for, I want to say, it's been a number of years. But yeah, it's a great event. It keeps growing. They're raising the roof every time, so we love it. We're excited, and it's our pleasure to be here.
I mean, I'm excited to see, where we go for the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th edition of the Menalac Awards, and hopefully you'll be here for that, Nick.
100%. We wouldn't miss it for the world.
Now, WTI believe in creating exciting and sustainable water park environments, helping clients become leaders in their markets, obviously indoor and outdoor water parks developments, helping them reach new heights by using the latest technology. So you're a great person to hear the perspective of about how the leisure and entertainment industry is addressing sustainability and environmental concerns in its growth plans. We've been hearing those buzzwords for a while, but I'm going to pick your brain about them tonight, Nick.
It's very keen what you say, though, buzzwords, because very often we'll hear sustainability, we'll hear conservation, and what does it mean, right? At the end of the day, how do we apply it to the projects, and how do we do right by the owners, by the developers, by the generations now and the generations to come? So when we look at, from an engineering standpoint, WTI will approach a project looking at water conservation, energy conservation. How do we future-proof a project to make sure that not only right now with the technology we have this current day, but as we move forward, generations to come? And we look at the Middle East, GCC, when we're in a desert climate. I mean, we have to be good stewards of the environment, but good stewards of the people long term. The technology application is just the first part, though, because sustainability, by its simplest term, is finding ways that we can reduce use of natural resources, water, energy, power. But how do we become sustainable long term for the guest experience? How do we become financially sustainable? So for us, it's a mixture of many sustainability approaches that weave into one beautiful, sustainable parade.
And I think the knowledge is important, and the education of how to be sustainable and how to, it's not just, do what you said there, it's a buzzword, it's not something to do in the next year. It's a very long-term goal.
100%.
And Menalac, that's what they're here for, to offer those platforms for not just celebrations like this evening, but knowledge sharing and educating, all members.
It's fully a mindset, right? So when we look at how do we engage that, it's not just selection of certain equipment pieces would be the simplest way to boil it down, but how do we approach it and really, feel it holistically through and through, not to get too kumbaya with you.
I've got another tough question for you, Nick. I want to talk about challenges.
So
we've already kind of alluded to, sustainability and becoming more sustainable is a challenge, but perhaps there are other ones as well. With the industry expanding, what challenges do you anticipate in the industry? Any strategies that we can implement to overcome them?
We don't have any bespoke strategies. I don't have a written SWOT analysis or plan. But we look at the challenges this region will face as it begins to grow, as projects, giga projects, bigger projects with more unique and bespoke water attractions and guest offering. One of the bigger challenges we see is how do we align operational sensibilities among the staff that we have locally, among the staff that are brought in from around the world. How do we align that with the systems in place so we have something that's practically able to deliver? Very often we'll talk about the cost of ownership for a project. What is the long-term cost of ownership from a financial perspective, but also a personnel perspective too. So it really is a multi-pronged approach. This conference has been amazing in the fact that having a lot of engaged operators here at this forum, the conversation has been the topic of discussion for the past few days. I don't think we have exact answers for the challenges. But the most important thing is the conversation is at foot. The conversation is among us, and we have many who are ready to meet the challenge and find a way to fulfill it. But certainly aligning that guest experience with the actual physical build of the park, and how do we deliver that in a safe, fun, and repeatable manner.
I guess we're always going to have challenges. You know, you overcome one, and there's going to be another one coming along in a year's time. So it's just about working smartly, working together. That collaboration, that Menalac is a platform for, like you've already mentioned.
It is so very important, and actually not to dive back into it, but the people that we have here, the support, I mean the sponsors we have, even just right behind us right here, it's a true testament to the investment that's being made into these big ideas. There's not answers right away, but I am 100% confident, just from my experience in attractions and leisure and hospitality, that we're going to find a way and continue to evolve that thinking.
I was going to say, we'll find those answers amongst all the leaders here.
100%.
Nick, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll join us again on the red carpet in the future. Have a lovely evening.
You too. Cheers.